Hello everyone, I'm Nauvran and welcome to the Community Build Initiative, the Mobile Factory Refinery review. We are very happy that we had a really good amount of submissions considering the size of the task we set you. If you're interested, there's some information on the next event at the end of this video. Again, we apologize for how long this took. A lot of stuff happened, but we're here now, and so on that bombshell, let's get right to it. First off, at 5th place, we have the Phoenix Interstellar Shipyard. This ship sent us back on a real nostalgic trip. The ship has really been made with a lot of older building techniques, which you can see around the ship with some of the way that the detailing has been made. There's also big use of ice crystal, and there's the lovely ice engines that we rarely see nowadays. The overall design of the ship is really solid, with the main structure on one side and the two smaller shipyards on the other. It all really comes together nicely and makes a really well-looking industrial ship. The shipyards themselves are obviously the main focus of the ship, with the moving robotic arms and the two ships that are in the process of being built. The area is a bit bare though and could have used some more detailing to make it feel a bit more alive. The area could use more parts from the ships, or in general just building materials that seems like they're being in the process of being made to be put on the ships, or in general just a lot more industrial machinery. The interior is also a bit of time travel back 6 years or so. Clearly there's been used some newer blocks like the LOD blocks with the piping and so on. It really hints at a ship being built by a player that had a decent break. The interior that is here is very nice, especially the corridor between the shipyard and the crew quarters with the big glass wall. It's something I'm personally a really big fan of. But there are a few places where the interior could have used some more love, such as the bridge where the computers are really exposed, and there's just a general bit lack of detailing in here, as well as most of the corridors and the area around the mining drones do seem a bit bare and bland compared to a lot of the rest of the interior. The crew rooms are especially really well made, has a nice pack of detailing. It's not too busy, but it's not bland either. In general, the ship definitely feels like a mobile shipyard, but it lacks a bit of connectivity throughout the build. The shipyard doesn't really seem to get its materials from anywhere, and a big part of the interior is mostly dedicated to crew quarters while not having any factory related areas or much in terms of storage for the materials for the shipyard. Overall, this is a really nice ship and we really love it, especially for the nostalgic trip it's giving us. Moving on to 4th place, we have the SPS Levana. The ship's having a bit of an identity crisis as it can't really decide if it wants to be an exploration, a cargo or warship, or in general scientific ship. The overall profile of the ship is very good and there's a lot of interesting shapes. It does seem a bit monotone since almost everything on it is dark grey. The ship does look really great though, and there are a lot of good detailing around, especially around the engines and the small cargo containers being lifted up to the courier ship. It's a really nice detail to have to a ship, and I love seeing how the previous entry is combined with the current entry. It really brings together the fleet so far. Interior-wise, the main production line is pretty amazing. It goes from the front of the drones, dropping off the materials, to the back of the ship, where the finished product gets packed into cargo containers and lifted up to the courier from the previous competition. The overall red thread throughout the ship with the production line is exactly the kind of thing we had in mind. The fact that the drones actually have tubes to drop their materials into the production line is a really nice detail. It even matches up correctly with the interior and the exterior. There's even windows to look out at the drones. The main production line is using conveyor belts to take the materials from drones through a lot of processing, through a lot of machines, and each machine is unique. The interior does have some issues though, as most of the rest of the interior feels rather bland and everything is a bit grey and monotone, just like the exterior. There's not really much actually going on. There are of course good spots like the bar or the bridge, which are really nicely made and they feel like they fit in very well. I certainly could go for a drink after a long day in the factory. And the bridge feels like an industrial bridge that we would see on a big factory ship or container ship. I approve. The ship has a very clean intention with its interior, the main cargo line running through the ship as it The main artery of the ship really makes it feel like a proper factory ship. Sadly though, the exterior doesn't really feel the same way, with a militaristic look and exploration style detailing. At third place we have the Atlas Mobile Refinery. As soon as you see the exterior of the ship, it feels alive. There are multiple moving machinery and moving parts that make it feel like the ship's on running, and you just stumble across it in space. It feels like an industrial bulk that can keep working for a long time. The detailing is very good, as you can almost guess what each part of the factory does. The ship does also come with some issues though, as the bottom is very neglected compared to, well, anywhere else on the ship. This is sadly something that a lot of people end up doing. They forget the bottom of the ship, since the ships are typically aligned to sea, so you only really look at the top and the sides, and the front of the back. The bottom gets neglected. It's also an issue with the StarMade building, seeing as we have a static camera with orientation, so we rarely actually get to look at the bottom of our ships. The main corridors and hangars are a bit bland, but they do work. The rest of the interior is also nice detail, and it feels like there has been someone here before you, especially with things like the hidden employee bar and the hint of broken machinery. The lack of access to the huge external machinery is a bit disappointing, although the control tower is a very nice touch with the overlook of the crusher, whatever the big rotating part at the back of the ship is. With this ship you can really see and feel the purpose of it. The tubes coming from the smaller docked mining vessel, extracting the materials to refine them into multiple parts. Everything looks mechanically functional, and removing products in the tubes is a really nice additional touch. It is a bit unclear for us, however, how the ship is actually supposed to use or deliver the goods it produces. There are some hangars with some ships, but with how the production line is, it seems like the product is just going to the right side of the ship and not going anywhere. No access points. Congratulations on third place, Atra. Really nice ship. At second place, we have the MIC 583 of a Mobile Industrial Complex 583. This ship has a lot of fantastic detailing and a good general quality. Each building is unique and interesting. The main tower and reactor is especially nice with its industrial look. However, all the buildings feel a bit disconnected from each other. The way they have it designed makes the ship feel more like a station than a ship. And more like a station where you slap some engines all around and try to make it into a ship. The bottom of the ship is also kinda lacking, just like the last entry. There's not really anything interesting at the bottom of the ship. There's only a big gantry system which we kind of wish had been made into a shipyard. The scenes with the flying drones and the moving trucks are a really nice touch to make the ship feel like it's actually working. The factories themselves are incredibly detailed and really impressive with what looks like working production lines and goods being moved from factory to factory by trucks. The interior feels generally scattered and kinda disconnected. There's a general lack of core interior parts like crew quarters, med base, a cantina. Just a ship this size is basically a functioning city. It lacks the core crew related things. Or even if it was a station, it still lacks the crew oriented interior. There's also no way to actually access the four big hangars at the bottom of the ship, which is real sad. The different elements of a ship, both exterior and interior wise, feel very disconnected from each other by being placed in separate buildings, rather than a sort of connected structure. Each factory refinery is spot on and really well made though, but it feels like there's competitive companies on the same ship. It's a bit weird. It doesn't give this unified factory ship feel. Congratulations on second place, Deep Space Mechanic. And on first place, we have the winner, the WS Dakota Mark 1C. We start off with a really nice scene of the main ship salvaging some scrap. Nothing really feels out of place on this ship color-wise, nothing clashes. It's just a brilliant ship. There's a good amount of outstanding details with a good amount of resting area. There's a perfect mix here. Like, you have a really good amount of detailing that really well detailed, but you still have a lot of resting area around the highly detailed areas, so it doesn't feel cluttered or over detailed. The ship itself is also really just interesting to look at. There's a good shape. It has a defining unique shape and silhouette it would be easy to recognize. The engines could use some thicker struts to attach to the main ship though. Everything makes sense where it is, which makes the ship feel very well thought out. There's clearly been put a lot of effort into every tiny detail. The interior is very easy to find your way around in, and very well labeled and colored, which makes most things very easy to find. The interior is just about as detailed as the exterior, if not more at some places. And again, it shows just how much effort has actually been put into this ship. This is really clear to see with the amount of rails and logic and individually named rooms and display modules that's just to find almost everywhere. The amount of interaction there is with the things you can explore on this ship is also just really outstanding and really worth checking out and finding your way around. This ship really feels like a factory ship, or at least a scavenging ship. It has a clear industrial vibe, and there's a clear purpose with this ship. It's meant to go get materials, process the materials, and deliver them with the big boom arm. Just the fact there's a lot of small scouting drones and a lot of smaller working bees to help collect all the scrap and broken ships the ship is supposed to pick up and refine is just really nice. It's just a really good ship. I don't know what to say.
Okay, so before we finish this video, just wanted to go over the results for this competition. We were definitely out of our depth in preparation for this video, and we apologise for how long it took us to get this all sorted. But we will continue to go forward with events like this in the future, because this was great. And we all just wanted to say thank you for your patience with this review and participating in the contest itself. And that about sums it up for this review. We hope you've enjoyed this as much as we have, and we're looking forward to doing this again soon.